I'm gonna go on a little mini rant here. I can't stand it, and it's like, how are you willing
Here's a
to
clip
bet on this
Here's a
season?
clip.
It's just, this is not what being a fan of a sports team is about. This is not what sports are about. If your team has the best player in the league and has the best record in their conference, and I'm not saying they have the best team, but they're certainly setting themselves up. They are in a position where if they get help before the deadline, it's very reasonable to think they could have the best record going into the playoffs in the East if they could go pick up another player. And they're just good. Like, they have a lot of good players. They're not good enough to win right now, but they're not far from being good enough to win. It's just like they don't have the pieces, but they have the one piece that matters most. They're hanging around. They're playing hard. How are you willing to just shrug at this for like what, like a 5% chance at James Harden? That's so ridiculous. That's
That
so
you don't
ridiculous.
think is compromised by making a trade. That's the
No,
important
it's
thing.
not.
You're not. Yeah, right.
It's not. But it's like people are like, and it's all Daryl's crap, right? Like, I think it's so possible that we go into the deadline and Daryl like makes like a solid move, and he was just putting this out there that he wouldn't because he wanted to have that be something people thought he would do. It's also possible he's just lost his mind and he's not going to take him, or he's going to take him past the deadline. I can't predict Daryl, but like people are so blindly bought in. And like before the season, it kind of made sense. But like there are people who will not come off of this stance that like, yeah, we might as well just punt this season. And it's so absurd. Like, why do you even follow? Why watch the team? Why follow the sport at all? If you're willing to give up this Joel season, the record the team has right now, and just not even try, just take like all of Ben's movable salary for like fringe all-stars that are currently available, which Ben is, by the way. Ben is like fringe on the inside all-star. You could easily get a fringe on the outside all-star that's available, who hasn't had a long history of killing his team in the playoffs. But like, or like, what are we doing? What are we talking about? How do you even care? Like, do you even like the team? Like, what is the point of you caring about this team if you don't care about winning now? It doesn't make any sense. Now is your chance.
It's like that tweet from last deadline about Masai when Toronto didn't trade Lowry. And he went, Masai just sent a message to the league. Don't try to lowball me. Don't even try it. And it's like, listen, if you want to be a Daryl Morey fan, get yourself a Morey jersey and go to the Sloan Conference every year and get him to sign your fucking protractor, bro. I don't know what to tell you. Leave me out of it. Don't go to the games.
And like, we're not, my rooting interest is not in whatever like negotiation leverage that Daryl will have 10 years from now. I don't care. I want Joel Embiid to win a championship. He has a great shot this year. And like, it's not worth risking like anything that can happen in the future to say we didn't give it our all in his MVP year. It's so ridiculous. It's not in the spirit of fandom or sport at all. And even if you think that even if they get a guy, they don't have a chance this year, which I don't. But again, if you think that with them being a game and a half out of the East and having the MVP, then again, why are you watching? But even if you really believe that, like, there are ways to get a player who clearly ups their odds. Like, if you think of it as it's not like a binary thing, like they can win, they can't win, right? So like if they're at 5%, just the nature of how the team's built with having so much dead salary right now, they could go get a guy who gets them to 8-9%, who's usually not like a 4% kind of player. Just how the team is, if that guy fits with Joel. And you're just gonna not do that because you want like the 2% chance that Harden comes, or 5%, or whatever it is. But that's not even the only path there. We've already talked about earlier in this episode, like, there are ways to make that happen without Ben. I would argue that Ben is not necessary at all. I don't think he even increases your chances of getting Harden. And so
right.
I can't take it. And it's so absurd to me that people just like not are just okay with it. Like, I understand people who are like, you know what, Daryl knows better than I do. Like, whatever. If you are going to take that, like, that's fine. If you're rooting for the Sixers to just not try this year, not the players, but management, when the guy who this is all about, besides like just being Sixers fans, like I'm not a Daryl guy, I'm a Joel guy. The guy who has been here, who's done it, who this has been all about. is having an MVP year, and your team without Ben Simmons, with Tobias playing worse than he could possibly continue to play the rest of the year, with COVID and injuries on other people, on other players on the
Emily's got to go. Let's wrap this up.
This was like a 4-minute rant. I really enjoyed it.
This is a 4-minute rant.
Insane that you think that we shouldn't try with this team. Insane.